Good evening. My name is Amanda Sigolito, and I am the Chief of the Non-Tidal Wetlands Division at the Maryland Department of the Environment. I want to welcome you and thank you for taking the time to participate in the state's regulatory process and for caring about environmental protection. Tonight's public informational hearing is further opportunity for the public to provide oral testimony on the MD Solar One LLC Sugar Valley Place project. Due to the high volume of requests to provide oral testimony at the February 27, 2019 public informational hearing on this project, the department is continuing the hearing tonight and providing an opportunity for public input. I'm the presiding official for tonight's public informational hearing. Also attending the hearing from the department is John Backus, who is the program manager for the Environmental Standards and Assessment Program, William Seeger, who is chief of the department's Waterway Construction Division, and out front at the sign-in table, Jeff Thompson, Central Region Chief of the Non-Tidal Wetlands Division, and Angel Valdez, Natural Resource Planner of the Environmental Standards and Assessment Program. At this time, I would like to ask Secretary Ben Grumbles from the Department of the Environment to come forward.
All I wanted to do was to welcome everybody here this evening for this important continuation of gathering information, hearing testimony for this project. We recognize that this is extremely important to you, to the community, to the county, to the watershed, and to the state. And so I encourage you to provide your perspectives and insights. Our staff will review every single item that's submitted to us, and we look forward to another productive, civil, and informative evening on this project. So thank you for being here.
Thank you. We are conducting this public hearing pursuant to subsection 5-204 of the Environment Article and Code of Maryland Regulations 2617-0413 and 2623-0202. The purpose of tonight's public informational hearing is for the department to hear from interested persons about this project. The department's role is to listen to testimony and statements and obtain any additional information from those in attendance tonight. The department recognizes that strong feelings exist regarding this project. Everyone who is asked to speak tonight has a right to be heard, and I am asking that we do our best to respect this right. Tonight's hearing is being recorded. The hearing transcript will be used to facilitate the final permit decision. If there is anyone who has not signed the attendance sheets out front, please do so before you leave tonight. These sheets will be used to notify you of our final decision and provide you with a copy of the hearing report. Additionally, these sheets are being used by me to identify those of you who wish to make a statement. Tonight's hearing is for the Non-Tidal Wetlands and Waterways Permit Application Number 18-NT-0323/2018-61760 submitted by MD Solar One LLC. The application requests authorization to conduct regulated activities associated with the construction of a 32.5 megawatt fixed tilt solar panel array to provide energy to Georgetown University. The project location is 4850 Sugar Valley Place, La Plata, Charles County. The project will include site clearing and grubbing of approximately 249 acres, the installation of modular solar panels, access and maintenance roads, an electrical substation, overhead connection lines, security fence, and screening landscaping. The project will permanently impact 15,670 square feet of the 25-foot non-tidal wetland buffer, 40 linear feet of stream, and convert 4,550 square feet of forested non-tidal wetland to emergent non-tidal wetland. The project will also temporarily impact 22 linear feet of stream. The project area is within the Wards Run watershed, which includes 2 Tier 2 or high-quality stream segments. The project's Tier 2 impacts are as follows. Watershed forest cover will be reduced by 210 acres adjacent to the Tier 2 streams, and the existing riparian stream buffers on Tier 2 and other on-site streams will be reduced. Construction of the proposed project requires a non-tidal wetlands and waterways permit from the department. I will now ask the MD Solar One LLC representative to come forward and make a brief presentation. And if you could start by giving us your name, please.
Good evening. My name is Jason Thomas, Thomas. I'm the Director of Development for Origis Energy. The purpose of my testimony tonight is to provide an overview of the proposed MD Solar One project. I'm asked to keep my remarks brief. Origis Energy is a solar development and operation company proposing the project. MD Solar One is the applicant seeking the waterway crossing and wetlands permit from the Maryland Department of the Environment. This slide shows a view of the project. The MD Solar One project is a 32.5 megawatt alternating current photovoltaic solar facility. The project is approximately 249 acres within 2 parcels totaling 588 acres. The project address is 4850 Sugar Valley Place. The permit application is associated with impacts in 3 specific areas. A temporary bridge on Sugar Valley Place that crosses Ward's Run, this location. A temporary bridge, see one culvert on an emergency access road located here. And timbering 2 different locations along the generation tie line that facilitates the interconnection to the Smecco power line in the southeast corner. That concludes the overview. Mr. Dane Bauer is here with H&B Solutions to present the details of the permit application.
I'm Dane Bauer. I'm an owner with my partner Melissa Hall in H&B Solutions. Dane, D-A-N-E, B-A-U-E-R, 12814 Heathland Drive, Bishopville, Maryland. Our business is focused on utility scale solar projects. We team up with the developers to do the technical analysis. We prepare the environmental review document. We oversee the preparation of the constraints mapping. We do that in cooperation with a team of experts. In this case, we had ECS, and they did the geotechnical, they did the wetlands, and they did the Forest Conservation Act assessments. We took all that information together and we put it into a comprehensive environmental review document. It's interesting to note that the limit of disturbance on the project now is about 210 acres. And of that 210 acres, we only had 6,000 square feet of impacts. As Jason pointed out, they're only in 3 areas. There's an existing culvert, which is at the bottom left, and there's only 240 square feet of disturbance associated with that. The bridge is a temporary bridge. There's an existing culvert there with a concrete overtop to it that is used by an entrance from the few property owners that live in the area now. It's not sufficient for the trucks that will be transporting construction equipment and materials in. So we're building a temporary bridge just downstream of the existing culvert. The impacts are about 1,320 square feet. They're temporary in nature as compared to the culvert, which is permanent. Then you look over to the right where the transmission interconnection is to take place, and there's a 75-foot corridor, a little over 1,000 feet long, And underneath that corridor, there are some small spots of wetlands. There's going to be temporary impacts in those areas also. We're timbering, but leaving the root structures in, so there will be no disturbance to the ground. The timber will be taken out. It's about 4,550 square feet. Another interesting note is when we were doing the environmental constraints, the client agreed that it would be to the best interest of the project if we didn't use 25-foot setbacks for the buffers, but we used 35 feet. So the entire project, in every area where we were required to do buffering, whether it was wetlands or RPZs, there were added distances to be more conservative. And that's the basic overview of the environmental requests that we've made for the wetlands permit.
Okay, thank you. We will now continue with the public testimony on the project. First, I will ask any elected officials or their representatives who may be present if they would like to make a statement. If you are making an oral statement, please identify yourself, spell your name to help out our transcriber, and indicate any organization that you may be representing. It doesn't appear like there are any elected officials represented here tonight, but I'll ask now. All right. Then first up, we have Will Hiley, Karen Rohan, and Kate McGowan. And if you would come down here to the microphone and give us your statement, and if you limit your statements to 3 minutes. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Will Hiley. It's H-I-L-E-Y, and I'd like to thank the Department of the Environment for continuing this hearing so that everyone can speak. I live in Georgetown, across from Georgetown campus, but I also have a farm that lies partially inside Charles County. Every day I walk through Georgetown campus, and I find that they don't have any solar on campus, but they have plenty of room to. And what this amounts in my mind is a privileged institution giving a not in my backyard, so they're putting it down here in an underdeveloped or not fully developed part of the state. I think it's unimaginative of the university and very environmentally insensitive. On the part of, I guess it's Regis Energy, if they really were concerned about the environment in Charles County, I think there are plenty of already disturbed areas. There's strip malls up and down the highway. I think there's also an unused airstrip in Charles County that this could be put on. And one thing that has not, they've stressed the lack of effect that this is going to have on the environment. But I have not heard them talk about how they're going to control weeds and grasses. I know a lot of these solar farms use herbicides and things like Roundup, which will go directly into the Potomac watershed, which is already in pretty bad shape. Then it goes down into the Chesapeake and down into the Atlantic. Anyway, so I'd just like to give my opposition to this project, and I hope that both Georgetown University will try something on their campus and set an example before they come into our backyard, and then maybe Regis Energy use some of the empty land or already disturbed land in Charles County if they really like to do something in this county. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Karen Rohan, and then Kate McGowan.
Hello, my name is Karen Rohan from 517 Lincoln Street in Rockville, Maryland. Thank you for holding this hearing and for listening to the opinions of the public on this matter. I request that the permit be denied for the reasons following. While I am not local to Nanjemoy, I have lived in Maryland for all my life and have been right in the center of the constant development of the DC suburbs into highly urbanized areas. I've seen the extensive loss of natural land and the degradation of air and water quality in my region and have concerns for the relatively untouched areas that are affected by this proposal. Many highly qualified speakers have addressed their concerns with the changes to water quality after the construction of the solar farm, and as well as the impacts of those on the Nanjemoy populace. I would like to echo and support these arguments as well as adding my own. As of 2016, the state of Maryland has released a list of Maryland species in need of conservation. I provide the links in the paper, and I've provided a summary of the numerical data. 742 Maryland plant species have declined to the point that they are considered rare or of concern, 624 of which are considered threatened to endangered, 343 of which are in critical condition, and 58 of which are not legally recognized or protected. In addition to these numbers, over 300 species have also gone extinct. These numbers are likely higher now. These extinctions are heavily driven by clearing for agriculture and the urban development that is part of my everyday reality. Southern Maryland especially has seen swift and extensive urban development in the past few years, sprawling into areas that have previously been untouched. In addition to plants, over 514 animal species, many of them birds, have also declined to the extent that they are now considered rare or of concern. 436 are considered threatened to endangered, 198 of which are in critical condition, and 280 of which are not legally recognized or protected. While I was not able to find an estimate of Maryland animals that have gone extinct, the most prominent examples are bison, wolves, and elk. Again, these numbers are likely higher now. The numbers show that Maryland species are severely under threat, and the situation only continues to deteriorate. The state of Maryland is quoted as saying, "Much of our natural heritage is now confined to small fragments of the original wilderness." These remaining fragments are in dire need of protection, and the proposed location is one such fragment. In addition